Stop for a moment. Hold your breath. Don't move. Something is happening to you right now, and you can feel it in a place deeper than your thoughts, deeper than your emotions, deeper than the layers of your physical body. There is a tension in the air around you, a spiritual pressure pushing against your chest, as if an invisible presence is trying to get your attention, trying to warn you, trying to shake you awake before something crosses a threshold it was never meant to cross. Listen carefully. What you are sensing is not imagination. It is not coincidence. It is not anxiety. It is the vibration of a message sent directly to you, encoded through your spirit, carried through the unseen realms where destiny and danger collide. You are being pulled into a moment where heaven steps closer, where hidden things rise to the surface, where spiritual truth refuses to remain silent any longer. This is the moment where your eyes open, your awareness elevates, and the veil thins enough for you to understand what you were never meant to ignore. Something has been moving against you quietly, strategically, intentionally. And today, heaven interrupts it. Before you go any further, I want you to pause, breathe deeply, and listen to me with the full weight of your heart. In this moment, I want you to write your warmest wishes in the comments and place 777 beside them, not as decoration, but as your spiritual activation code. This is the moment you declare what your soul longs for, what your future deserves, what your destiny has been reaching for despite the resistance working against you. When you write it, something in the spiritual realm shifts in your favor. An alignment forms, and a door opens that no enemy can close. After you do this, I want you to like this video and subscribe now. Not casually, not lightly, but with intention. Because there are forces that have opposed your rise, and this simple act becomes your stand, your declaration that you refuse to fall into the traps set against your name. Do it with purpose, do it with strength, do it now. There is a reason the atmosphere around you has felt heavy lately, as if shadows have been following you, and plans have been drawn without your consent. You have been sensing the pressure of something hidden, something that watches your every move, something that waits for moments of weakness to strike. You have felt drained for no reason, discouraged without explanation, tired in a way that sleep does not fix. These are not random emotions. They are symptoms of spiritual sabotage, the fingerprints of those who move quietly in the dark, hoping to weaken your spirit before you realize who you truly are. But hear this clearly. What has been working against you is about to be exposed. The invisible hands that tried to bend your path, poison your relationships, or contaminate your confidence are losing their grip. Their strategies are dissolving. Their energy is collapsing, and heaven is stepping between you and every force that thought it could rewrite your destiny in silence. Your spirit has been undergoing something far deeper than stress. You have been going through cellular reconstruction, a divine rewiring of the inner world that makes you who you are. There are memories inside you, Eden memories, buried deep within the layers of your being. Memories that carry ancient wisdom, instinct, and spiritual codes that activate when danger is near. Recently, these dormant codes began to awaken, creating internal tension. You felt restless, you felt uneasy, you felt spiritually alert without understanding why. That was not paranoia. That was protection. Heaven has been activating the internal alarms placed within your spiritual DNA long before you were born. These alarms warn you when you are being targeted. They warn you when humanity is being manipulated behind your back. They warn you when someone is trying to interfere with your destiny. And they are sounding right now. There are individuals, energies, and spiritual forces that have watched your progress with envy, resentment, or fear. You have stepped into a frequency they cannot control. You have begun to rise in ways they never expected. You have started to grow in directions they cannot follow. And because of this, they have tried to weaken your spirit, distract your mind, and interfere with your path. But what they didn't understand is that your destiny is not built from your environment. Your destiny is built from your divine coding. You were designed to withstand storms that others collapse under. You were built with spiritual resilience that confuses those who try to break you. Every time they push against you, heaven pushes back stronger. Every time they plot against you, angels interfere. Every time they measure how close you are to collapsing, a supernatural surge rises from inside you and pulls you back into alignment. If you have been feeling isolated, misunderstood, or disconnected from the people around you, understand this. Isolation has been your sanctuary. Heaven pulled you away to protect you from voices that would contaminate your clarity, from hands that would drain your energy, from hearts that would betray you without hesitation. You have been removed from certain spaces not because you were rejected, but because you were being redirected. Your spirit has been undergoing frequency alignment, adjusting to higher realms where your purpose breathes freely, where your intuition grows sharper, where your perception becomes unclouded by the noise of those who fear your evolution. This is why you have felt alone. This is why you have felt detached. This is why you have felt like something in your life has been shifting beneath the surface. It has. And there is more, much more you have not seen yet. Angels have been performing surgery in unseen realms, removing spiritual toxins that accumulated from years of emotional wounds, betrayal, disappointment, and self-doubt. They have been repairing fractures in your identity, stitching together the parts of you that were torn by people who never understood the weight of your calling. They have been clearing debris from timelines where your destiny was manipulated by those who benefited from your confusion. They have been rebuilding your resilience, your intuition, your discernment, your inner fire. These operations happen in silence. They happen in moments when you feel exhausted for no reason, emotional without explanation, or suddenly aware of things you couldn't articulate before. Your spirit has been healing, rebuilding, restructuring, preparing for the moment you finally rise above everything that has tried to break you. A testimony is forming inside your life right now. You don't see it yet, but the early signs have already begun. Things that once overwhelmed you no longer hold the same power. People who once intimidated you no longer influence your emotions. Situations that once drained you now reveal their patterns before they harm you. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is transformation born from divine interference. Someone once stood exactly where you are, confused, pressured, spiritually attacked, and heaven stepped into their story exactly the way it is stepping into yours. That person rose from a life of anxiety into a life of clarity. They rose from betrayal into restoration. They rose from spiritual exhaustion into supernatural strength. Their destiny was reclaimed, and now your turn has come. The testimony that transformed them is becoming the testimony that will transform you. There are forces that planned to intercept your progress in the coming weeks, hoping to stop you before your breakthrough fully forms. But what they didn't know is that heaven already moved ahead of them. Angels have already repositioned themselves around you. Alignments have already shifted. Pathways have already opened. Heaven has already changed the timing, the direction, and the momentum of everything that concerns you. The sabotage planned against your name has been neutralized before it touched your timeline. The traps set for you have been dismantled before you reached them. The lies whispered about you are dissolving before they spread. You are stepping into divine protection that operates faster than intention, deeper than manipulation, stronger than attack. And you need to hear this clearly. You are not losing your mind. You are not imagining the resistance. You are not overreacting. You are spiritually awakening. What once moved in darkness is now being dragged into the light. What once threatened you is now being unmasked. What once intimidated you is now being exposed. This is the beginning of a new spiritual awareness, a new level of discernment, a new authority rising through your voice. Heaven is not only protecting you, it is empowering you. The air around you is shifting again, like a scene in a movie where the camera suddenly zooms in. The lighting changes, and something important is about to be revealed. You can almost feel the atmosphere tighten, as if the unseen world is leaning closer, observing your next breath, your next thought, your next decision. This moment is not ordinary. It is not casual. It is charged with revelation, with exposure, with the weight of truths that were hidden from you for far too long. Something has been approaching you quietly, like a shadow crawling across the edge of your path, hoping you wouldn't notice it until the damage was already done. But heaven refuses to let you walk blind. The same force that protected you before is now revealing what has been operating behind the curtain, showing you what your eyes weren't trained to see, what your heart wasn't prepared to process, and what your spirit was sensing all along. This is a moment of clarity, a moment where every lie collapses, every illusion dissolves, and every threat that tried to disguise itself becomes unmistakably visible. There have been people who smiled at you while secretly resenting your existence. They shook your hand while hoping you would fail. They encouraged you in public while cursing you in private. Their hearts carried bitterness every time you grew. Their spirits became unsettled every time you rose. To them, your progress was an insult. Your resilience was a threat. Your potential was a danger. They saw the light on your life and feared that one day you would overshadow everything they built. So they attempted to undermine you quietly. They tried to contaminate your confidence. They tried to shape your self-doubt. They tried to weaken your fire before it became too powerful to control. But what they didn't understand is that you were never operating by human strength. Your growth has always been supernatural. Your resilience has always been divine. Your spirit has always been protected by forces they cannot see and cannot fight. Every time they pushed against you, heaven reinforced you. Every time they plotted against your name, angels rewrote the outcome. Every time they underestimated you, God elevated you in ways they never saw coming. Your journey has been marked by strange patterns you noticed but didn't understand. People leaving you at the exact moment you needed them most. Opportunities disappearing the moment you reached for them. Conversations turning cold without explanation. Energies shifting around you like the air was warning you about something your mind hadn't yet processed. These were not accidents. These were signs. They were signals from the spiritual realm showing you that certain connections were never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. Some people were removed because their presence would have corrupted your future. Some opportunities were blocked because they would have led you into traps disguised as blessings. Some relationships collapsed because heaven heard conversations you didn't hear, saw actions you didn't see, and protected you from wounds you didn't need to endure. Every loss was protection. Every closed door was redirection. Every silence was divine intervention. You have been undergoing something far more complex than emotional exhaustion. Heaven has been activating your spiritual senses, sharpening your awareness, and expanding the capacity of your intuition. Your mind has been upgrading, like ancient software awakening to its original purpose. Your DNA has been shifting, unlocking prophetic instincts buried deep within your lineage. These instincts are not random. They are inherited from generations that survived storms you cannot imagine. These instincts rise in times of spiritual danger, reminding you that you were never meant to be ordinary, never meant to live unaware, never meant to walk blind into the traps set for your life. You carry an internal radar for deception. You sense betrayal before it manifests. You feel manipulation before it forms. You recognize hidden intentions even when they're disguised by kindness. This sensitivity is not a curse. It is your divine armor. And now, heaven is revealing something even deeper. Someone has been speaking about you in ways your ears were never meant to hear. Words have been thrown toward your name, like arrows dipped in resentment. Conversations took place behind closed doors that attempted to limit your influence, distort your character, or misinterpret your intentions. But what they failed to understand is that your purpose is not built on reputation. It is built on revelation. Your calling is not sustained by approval. It is sustained by divine order. Their words cannot touch what God has sealed. Their opinions cannot rewrite what heaven has written. Their intentions cannot override your destiny. Every negative word spoken about you has already been dismantled. Every lie formed against you is dissolving. Every attempt to limit your path has been overturned by a higher authority. You may not know this yet, but you have angels assigned specifically to your journey. Angels that monitor the condition of your spirit, the direction of your decisions, the intentions of those around you. These angels have intercepted plans that would have crushed ordinary people. They have redirected danger that was meant for you. They have neutralized spiritual attacks before they reached your life. Recently, they have been working overtime, standing between you and forces that were intensifying their efforts against you. You may have felt the exhaustion, the heaviness, the confusion, but what you didn't see was the battle happening behind the scenes. A war was being fought for your peace. A clash was occurring for your direction. A conflict was unfolding for your purpose. And you survived it without realizing how close the attack came. Something powerful is happening inside you. You are beginning to see patterns with clarity. You are beginning to understand why certain people behave the way they do. You are beginning to recognize who truly supports you and who only pretends. You are beginning to discern intentions without needing them to be spoken. This is heaven pulling you into a new level of awareness where you are no longer deceived by appearances, no longer distracted by noise, and no longer vulnerable to spiritual traps. You are stepping into a dimension where your intuition becomes a weapon, where your spiritual vision becomes sharp, where the truth becomes impossible to hide from you. And hear this. You are not becoming colder. You are becoming clearer. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming selective. You are not becoming hardened. You are becoming protected. What once drained you will no longer access you. What once manipulated you will no longer influence you. What once intimidated you will no longer affect you. This is the early stage of a transformation that will touch every part of your life, your relationships, your decisions, your direction, your destiny. You are rising, and the forces that wanted you broken can feel it. They are losing their hold. They are losing their influence. They are losing the battle they started. You are stepping into a spiritual structure where you will no longer be accessible to those who wish you harm. You are becoming untouchable in ways you have never experienced. The atmosphere around you shifts again, tightening like the final act of a film where the truth can no longer remain hidden. The air feels charged, almost electric, as if something ancient has awakened and stepped forward to speak directly into the deepest part of your spirit. You can sense it. Your heartbeat changes rhythm. Your mind becomes still. And for a moment, everything in your life feels like it is pausing halfway between danger and deliverance. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. The moment where understanding replaces confusion, where clarity replaces fear, where divine revelation replaces the chaos others tried to wrap around your life. You are standing at the edge of a spiritual turning point, and what happens next will rewrite the path ahead of you in a way that no enemy can interfere with again. There is something important you need to know. The pressure you felt, the heaviness you carried, the tension that wrapped itself around your days and nights was not a sign of your weakness. It was evidence of a spiritual upgrade. Every moment of exhaustion was your spirit shedding an old frequency. Every moment of confusion was your intuition recalibrating. Every moment where you felt disconnected was heaven removing you from the reach of those who intended to drain your purpose. You were not being destroyed. You were being rebuilt. Angels have been operating on you in realms beyond sight, cutting away spiritual toxins, stitching together fractures you didn't even know existed, and reconstructing the essence of who you are. You are stepping forward now as someone renewed, someone restructured, someone protected by a divine architecture that no enemy can break through. There were people who thought they could interfere with you, manipulate you, or weaken you because they believed you were unaware. But heaven has been exposing their intentions one by one. Thoughts you suddenly had about them were not random. The discomfort you felt around certain individuals was not drama. The sudden urge to distance yourself was not rudeness, it was revelation. You were being guided out of proximity with energies that hoped to sabotage your growth. Their whispers, their jealousy, their hidden bitterness, their disguised hostility. They all began to dissolve as heaven stripped away the masks they wore. And now you see clearly. You see who is for you, and who was only there until your success threatened them. You see who genuinely cares and who only wanted access to your energy. You see who celebrates you and who secretly fears the power rising inside you. Your path has reached the point where you can no longer be played with, influenced, manipulated, or deceived. The tactics that once worked on you will fail from this moment forward. The traps that once caught you will collapse beneath you now. The cycles that once drained you will be broken permanently. You are spiritually ascending into a frequency where the intentions of others cannot touch your destiny. You are protected by a shield of discernment, intuition, and divine authority. Every time someone attempts to interfere with your life from this point on, they will collide with the force of heaven standing in front of you. Every plan designed to weaken you will return to its sender, empty and powerless. Every whisper intended to wound you will evaporate before it reaches your spirit. Every shadow that tried to follow you will lose its grip as your light intensifies beyond its reach. Something extraordinary is beginning to unfold. Your soul is reconnecting with its original blueprint. Your Eden memory is awakening, restoring your identity, strengthening your inner foundation, and activating the parts of you that carry ancient resilience. You may notice your thoughts becoming clearer, your emotions stabilizing, your intuition sharpening, your perception expanding. These changes are not coincidences. They are signs that the spiritual interference around your life has been severed. Heaven has closed the door to every force that tried to bend your destiny. The enemies who hoped to delay you have already been defeated in realms they cannot see. They can no longer access the path you are walking. They can no longer influence the direction you are moving. You are stepping into divine freedom, divine clarity, divine protection. And now, hear this final message with the full weight of your spirit. Your breakthrough is no longer approaching. It is beginning. You may not feel it fully yet, but the first waves have already reached your life. The shift has already started. The realignment has already taken place. The blessing assigned to your name is already breaking through the resistance that attempted to block it. The forces that wanted to destroy your confidence are losing power by the second. The energies that wanted to drain your strength are fading from your field. The individuals who underestimated you will witness the rise they tried to prevent. You are stepping into a phase where every move you make is divinely guided. Every step you take is protected. And every door that opens is the door heaven intended for you since the beginning. Walk forward now with confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because everything has shifted. What once hunted you has been halted. What once discouraged you has been dismantled. What once threatened you has been overturned. You are rising not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. And nothing can stop you anymore.